Hey yo, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and Lauren Boebert is absolutely calling out one of the major leaders at FEMA for not only her terrible response to Hurricane Helene, but their responses to disasters throughout the entire country. Let's dive in.
We have seen the devastation of American citizens who have been impacted by these hurricanes, and they want answers. So is Ms. Washington being used as a scapegoat for carrying out the directive to not go to homes with Trump signs?
I received information on November 7th that there was an employee that had directed homes with Trump signs be avoided.
And you terminated her, but are there others who are going to be held accountable? Now let me ask you this, okay? You have the investigation that's been asked of you. What are you going to do to preserve this investigation and ensure that it continues in the next administration?
We will fully cooperate with the IG if they choose to take on this investigation. It has also been elevated to the Office of Special Counsel.
Sorry, my time is running out. And in this internal investigation or outside, if you never find anyone who's actually culpable for this, are you going to take any blame?
We are conducting ongoing investigations.
Are you going to take any blame if no one is found? If no one is found,
if we find anyone that has been violating the way we deliver assistance,
I'll move on. I'm sorry, you're not answering my question directly. So this is a culture that the Biden administration has allowed to cultivate as, and I believe that you are a part of this as FEMA, and I would hope that you would take responsibility for allowing your employees to discriminate those who they help based on politics, rather than just dismissing it on an investigation. Now, are there barriers within FEMA between public and private partnerships or relationships, or is FEMA only focused on blocking resources from Trump supporters? Can private citizens help in an emergency?
The actions of one individual are not representative of the way FEMA delivers its programs.
Can FEMA work with private citizens in an emergency to get resources to American citizens?
I think you would have to give me some specific examples of what you mean.
Okay, so we have Elon Musk. He said, quote, "My blood is boiling." Mr. Chairman, I would like to submit for the record this article that was printed in regards to Elon Musk is being furious over FEMA blocking SpaceX engineers from
that objection to order.
So when Elon Musk is furious that he can't get Starlink delivered to folks, when I have Congressman Corey Mills who has to deploy a mission team to bring 26 systems of Starlink to those who are suffering, when the missing persons list is 1,500 people before Starlink is brought to them by a sitting member of Congress, not by FEMA, and that number goes down to 600 once communication is able to begin, when a member of Congress has to bring 23,000 pounds of supplies, when Elon Musk is saying we want to get internet, we want to get connectivity and communication to citizens, we want to bring supplies, and yet FEMA is blocking supplies. FEMA is seizing supplies. When I have a senior high school student from Rifle, Colorado, Cody Wyatt, who is driving across country to get supplies because FEMA hasn't been seen in 11 days in North Carolina or in Pensacola, Florida, when they aren't present, can citizens help, or is FEMA going to continue to block private citizens and refuse to help those based on their political affiliation?
FEMA has never blocked any assistance from moving around any of the states that were impacted. In fact, when Mr. Musk released that statement, we had over 70 Starlink satellite terminals in and around North Carolina, exceeding what he
For
had
11
already
days,
said.
Congressman Corey Mills did not see a single FEMA representative or truck, and I have witnesses as well in Florida who did not see any help from FEMA for days.
That's not just terrible, that's disgusting. And I think the response to Hurricane Helene was the very thing that radicalized Elon Musk. Because again, Elon Musk has been historically just a centrist. He wants to be left alone. He doesn't want people really intruding on his business. But after California kept on trying to regulate him to death, then he moves a lot of his business to Texas, and he realized, wait a minute, this is great for business. I love Republicans. And then he sees the response to Hurricane Helene. And that's when he goes, no, No, Democrat governance has got to go. Okay, the whole idea of FEMA is supposed to help states that have had terrible disasters. That's it. Okay, that's the whole point and purpose, and they are terrible at their jobs. I am just old enough to vividly remember Katrina. All right, I remember the news. I remember the news flying in helicopters over the flooded zones because the levees broke on Lake Pontchartrain. And there was even a PBS special barely a year before saying, hey, you need to reinforce your levees because if a hurricane hits here at just the right spot at about a category 3, your levees are going to break. All right, this isn't some Led Zeppelin song. This is reality, and they ignored it. The Democrat leadership, because at that time, both the governor of Louisiana and the mayor of New Orleans were Democrats, and they could have much better allocated their resources. They had school buses that could have gotten people out of the area, and instead they said, let's send everyone to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and hope that the Gators don't get to them there. That was literally their plan. Again, I've said this multiple times. Democrats can't govern. All right, it's that simple. Democrats can't govern because when they do, they get into this terrible catch-22. Because if they ever say, hey, there's an emergency going on, it's an admission that they weren't fully prepared. The same thing happened on the island of Maui because the Democrat leadership there refused to use the actual warning system, which is usually used for, tornadoes, tsunamis, potential nuclear bombs even. They refused to use the warning systems to get the citizens of that town and say, hey, y'all need to hightail it out of here. There's a wildfire that has just spiraled out of control. Save your lives, get out of town. And instead, they were so afraid that they were going to cause a panic that they refused to do what was necessary. So, when in case of Hurricane Helene and FEMA, there was a lady who quite literally said, hey, I might be a contractor here, but the people that I'm working with, if you go out and you see a Trump sign on a piece of property, ignore the property. That is a scandal that should ultimately result in a major prosecution. Okay? It is that simple. The whole goal of FEMA is to help and serve American citizens who have been hurt by natural disasters, and they have done a terrible job ever since Katrina. It is time to start rooting out these government agencies and start throwing away the bureaucrats who are worthless to American society and start implementing what do they call it again? Oh yeah, and Elon Musk is the co-chair of this, the Department of Government Efficiency. We deserve this as American citizens. And as a Southern boy, I have some family ties up in the North Carolina region. It's cousins of cousins of cousins, but that's still roughly my area. And those people were hurt because of historic flooding, not just from the hurricane, but from a low pressure system that dumped inches of rain beforehand, and then Hurricane Helene made everything worse. FEMA is supposed to help American citizens. They have not done their job. They have not done their duty. And I'm glad Lauren Boebert is out here raising awareness to this massive problem, because FEMA deserves a good hard look in the mirror, and then it deserves to lose a whole bunch of bureaucrats and start using non-government entities, because again, this is one of the big problems with our federal government. They are so terrified of being one-upped by a non-government organization and someone that's not exactly contracted that they will refuse help. North Carolina is home to Samaritan's Purse, one of the best disaster relief organizations in the entirety of the United States, and they have been able to help no one, in part due to red tape because of FEMA. Americans deserve good government. They don't deserve this garbage that continues to get shoved, and then when push comes to shove, when we find out that FEMA is actually refusing to help people because of their political affiliations, oh yeah, we've got a problem. And I hope that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk can start solving this massive, deep embedded issue, because Americans deserve better. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.